Welcome back to Broncos Country Tonight, joined by Broncos TV's Alexis Perry. Alexis, what's going on?
Hey, guys. So glad I can join you guys today. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Looking forward to chatting with you today about ESPN's Top 10. We're a listy time of year. We've seen it from every single major outlet.
I love lists.
Lists are fun, and they're made for great sports talk radio fodder. But in this case, we're going to actually kind of sort of break down the way that ESPN has framed this. They talked to a bunch of scouts and coaches and execs, and they compiled a list of top 10 at every single position. Now, let's start on the offensive side of the ball. The Broncos are pretty young there. I don't think many of us expected many names to pop up in the top 10, but they did get some honorable mentions with Cortland Sutton, Melvin Gordon, and Noah Fant. So one of the things I wanted to talk about more so than breaking down them being on the list now is breaking down what will happen next year. I want to get into a little predicting time here, Alexis. So let's start on the offensive side of the ball. You can take those names. You can add another name. Give me somebody that's going to be pushing for top 10, or if you want to be bold, say they will be in the top 10 next year.
I mean, to be not even all that bold, Cortland Sutton will be in the top 10 next year. You know, I personally am a really big fan of YAC, yards after the catch, because I think it says a lot about a player's strength and physicality at the position. His rookie year, he only had 162 yards after the catch. Last season, he more than doubled that number with 369 out of his 1,112 receiving yards coming after the catch. And he did that, and I'm just going to steal this line straight from Ben Allbright's mouth, with the ghost of Joe Flacco, 3 different quarterbacks. I mean, imagine what he can do with some consistency at the quarterback position and with other legitimate threats on the field. I mean, he will not be double teamed nearly as often. It'll give him more space to make big plays. He will definitely be on this list. I think he will also make the Pro Bowl straight up this year. None of that alternate stuff. I do think Cortland Sutton is primed for a really big year.
Yeah, sounds like wide receiver 1 numbers to me there, Benjamin. Okay, so who is your offensive player that will be a top 10 player next year?
Well, I love the fact that Alexis says she likes YAC, yardage after the catch. I like YAC, the animal that puts the load on its back and carries things for you.
And Cortland Sutton does that too, I just want to say.
He does, but the guy that's going to do that this year will be Noah Fant. In the Pat Shurmur offense, the tight end tends to account for 40 to 45% of the passing targets. Noah Fant is going to get a larger share of targets this year. And that athleticism and the way the offense is designed to scheme him up is going to give him more opportunities to break big plays. So I think Noah Fant is going to be recognized as a top 10 tight end by the end of the year. I think that's the one I'm going to go with, and you argue that, Alexis.
I do want to mention that Fant was the number 1 ranked YAC plus tight end last season. That means, YAC also factoring in specific situations and when he's making big gains. So he has the ability to compete with the best of the best at his position, like we saw in December when he surpassed George Kittle and tied Travis Kelce for the most 40-plus yard catches by a tight end last year. Good choice, Ben. Good choice.
Both of you make good choices. It would be very easy for me, because Melvin Gordon got the honorable mention, to list Melvin Gordon here, but I might go a little bit off the script. I think the offensive line play is going to be better, and I think Dalton Reisner will get recognized as a Pro Bowler this year, which will put him into the top 10 category, at least in the conversation. The fact is, he was last year in the midst of being a rookie season. Mike Munchak's his new coach for the offensive line there for everybody. I think we're going to expect better play, because you're also going to have better quarterback play as well. All right, let's move on here. Staying with the offense, though, let's talk about dark horse candidates, guys that aren't the obvious names. So you guys mentioned Sutton, you mentioned Fant, I mentioned Reisner. Give me a name, Alexis, that we probably should be talking about a little bit more.
Tough. I think a lot of people are going to want to throw out like Jerry Jeudy, right? I think we've talked about this quite a bit. I think the ability for a rookie wide receiver to make a really huge impact this year is going to be tough given this unique offseason. So I'm actually going to go with Philip Lindsay. I think that he is primed for a huge season given the competition at the running back position. And, you know, he already has such a massive chip on his shoulder. I really think his mentality heading into this season will help him crack this list. I know he's been working out a ton with Drew Lock this offseason. I think he probably is going to head into this season with more confidence in his wrist. I think he's going to be a better pass catcher. You know, depending on how he's utilized within Pat Shurmur's offense, I think he could be the Broncos' dark horse, and I have a feeling he would really relish in that challenge.
Don't sleep on my guy, Timmy Patrick over there, the wide receiver. I think if anybody's got a dark horse or a sleeper candidacy, it's going to be him. I think he's going to start the season as wide receiver 2. Jerry Jeudy will probably be wide receiver 3 as the rookie tries to catch up and transition to the pro game. And I think that Patrick is going to be the beneficiary of being the guy over there on his own on the left side while you've got Cortland Sutton and Noah Fant on the right side garnering all the attention. I think Patrick's going to get a bunch of one-on-ones. I think he's always been clutch on third downs and in situations where the Broncos needed him to be. I think it's going to be a big year for him.
Does that mean you think Tim Patrick is going to be a top 10 receiver in the league and make this list?
I think that if anybody is a dark horse sleeper, that's the guy I would put my money on.
Okay.
All right. Interesting stuff. All right. We only have a little bit of time left to talk about the defense for just a moment here. Von Miller, he cracked the top 10. Justin Simmons, when we're taping this, is expecting to crack the top 10. Give me a defensive player that's going to push for top 10 next year, Alexis.
Bradley Chubb, obviously. I'll keep it short. Ben?
Alexander Johnson. Give me the Chief Beast and the Dinosaur Roar. I'm here for it all.
I kind of like the idea of A.J. Bouye getting back into that category, knowing that he had that ability before this system will set up. I think he's going to get some interceptions this year. Okay, your dark horse candidate, Alexis?
My dark horse was A.J. Bouye. 100%. I mean, he led the league in yards allowed last year with 806. He obviously needs to have a big bounce back year. And I think all the drama, all the changes in Jacksonville really, limited his production over the past 2 years, but we've seen what he can do. We saw what he did in 2017, his Pro Bowl worthy season. So I think in Vic Fangio's scheme, I think he's going to be a perfect fit. So I'm really excited to see what he can do.
All right, Ben.
Bryce Callahan. Talked to him earlier this week. He's 100% healthy. Foot's ready to go. He's got a chip on his shoulder, wants to shake this always injured label. And he already knows the defense. There's no learning curve here. So I think Bryce Callahan, who's very talented when he actually makes it on the field, is going to be a good player. If he can stay healthy, he's got that chip on his shoulder ready to go.
All right. And I'm going to go with Jarrell Casey, just thinking, hey, it's a guy that has 5 straight Pro Bowls. I don't know why he wasn't there on the defensive line anyways. That does it for us. Thank you, Alexis. Thank you to Jeremiah Tachu. For Benjamin Allbright, I'm Ryan Edwards. Thank you for watching Broncos Country Tonight.